everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before I get into what cool thing I'm doing today, make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, so today I have this with me. This is a Chromebook computer, and this is like my favorite thing ever. It stores everything on it. I write stories on it. This is how I communicate to my friends. It is amazing. So, but you're probably wondering, why are you showing us your computer in a YouTube video? What does this have to do with anything? Okay, so what I am doing today is I am going to be reading you one of the stories that I've written. Not the whole thing, just the first chapter. Well, but yeah, it is really cool. I don't know if you guys know this, but I love to write stories, and I love to create my own characters, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. But Rowan, this still doesn't have to do with your computer at all. Okay, I was getting to that. Anyways, gosh, this is taking me a really long time to get to the point in this video. Anyways, the reasoning for the computer is basically just that there's this website called Google Docs on there, and that's what I write my stories on. I don't write in notebooks anymore, which is kind of sad, but Google Docs is so cool. So that's the only reason I have my computer, just to like read the story off of, because I don't have it anywhere else. So let's get started, people! Hi! Everything is black now, and I should really get started reading the story. Alright, so this is one of my original stories, not a fan fiction, called The Darkness Within, and this is part 1, chapter 1, The Hatching. Kink! Kink! Pieces of eggshell fell to the floor. Blaze whipped around, his blue tail cracking like a whip against the stone floor of the cave. He raced over to the tiny light blue egg and raked his claws across it, helping the dragonette inside hatch. Belle lifted her head at the commotion and ran over to help. Wren stood by, watching and probably calculating how long it would take for the dragonette to emerge, and how big it would be, and how much food it would need. Oh, right. Food, Blaze thought. He didn't know what to do about that. The siblings had only hatched a couple of days ago, and their parents hadn't come back. Blaze vaguely remembered his mother whispering something to him before taking off with his father and leaving them in the cave. But they would come back. Blaze was sure of it. It's coming, Wren breathed. His claws were fidgety, and they were scraping against each other. Blaze stopped thinking about food and averted his gaze to the beautiful, but slightly clumsy, blue and red dragonette that fell out of the egg. He caught her and suddenly realized how tiny she was. She could practically fit in his claws. Was I this tiny when I was born? Is something wrong with her? Belle grunted. Wren gasped. Blaze looked up at them. What's wrong? He asked. Belle didn't answer but tilted her head towards the dragonette's wings. Or what were supposed to be wings. The bones were jagged and extended every which way. The webbing that held the wings together was mashed up in a sticky ball. It was horrifying. Blaze didn't know what to do. Well, his mother was a water dragon, and they had healing powers, so... Blaze held his head high, set the dragonette on the ground, and placed his talons on her misshapen wings. He closed his eyes. Healing powers, would you come to me now? That'd be helpful. He opened his eyes. Nothing happened. Heal my sister, please? Still nothing. He bowed his head to hers and concentrated. Really, really hard. He could see. Into her bones, and her weak little muscles, and her wings. He focused on the webbing and tissue that connected her wing bones. He knew he could do nothing about those. It took deep concentration just to move one little piece of the webbing to where it was supposed to be. But, after what seemed like hours, Blaze opened his eyes. The dragonette's bones were still misshapen. Blaze knew he couldn't fix those. But the webbing was at least where it was supposed to be, and her wings looked more like wings. Of course, she wouldn't be able to fly very well, but at least it looked like now she could. Wow, Belle murmured. Oh, that is just marvelous, exquisite, amazing, Wren muttered. What you just did, Blaze. Dragonettes aren't supposed to grasp the healing power that quickly. How did you learn to do that? Would you teach me? Or would that be asking too much? I wonder, how soon would you be able to fix the dragonette's bones? Would you ever be strong enough to do that? So many questions. Blaze shrugged. He could never keep up with Wren's questions. The dragonette, meanwhile, looked at her wings and gave a little yelp. She turned around and around, trying to bite at her wings. Belle smiled slightly, tugged the corner of the dragonette's wing out of her mouth, and scooped her up. She turned to Blaze. So, what's her name? Blaze hadn't thought of that. He sighed. This was too much for him. He was a 3-day-old Dragonette for Sky's sakes. He wanted his parents to come back so they could solve all of this. He needed to name his little sister. He needed to find food. He needed to somehow teach his siblings how to fly when he didn't even know himself. He was the oldest. He had to provide for them, but he didn't know how. We need to wait until Mother and Father come back, Blaze decided. Belle snorted. We don't need them. We can go outside of this boring cave and find food for ourselves. We can teach ourselves how to fly and do all sorts of other things. We can survive. But we don't know how to do any of those things, Blaze pointed out. We could learn, Belle argued. Actually, Wren popped in, Dragonettes aren't supposed to learn to fly until they are exactly 1 year old. I don't care, Belle exclaimed. Blaze could tell she was getting angry. He needed to calm the siblings down. I think we should just wait for a couple more days, Blaze said. Fine, Belle grumbled. 5 days, and then we forget about our parents. I honestly don't think we can survive 5 days without food, Wren pointed out. We'll figure something out, Blaze reasoned. He really was getting worried. Hey, it's me again. That was the first chapter of The Darkness Within, a original story created by yours truly. I really hope you liked it, and again, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and bye!